Hello and good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to the very last game in the Swiss rounds of the Fabul Gauntlet. If you are new to the Fabul Gauntlet, this is a tournament in which our racers will have to complete 5 completely randomly selected objectives. We have no idea what they're going to do. Are they going to be looking for bosses? Are they going to be looking for items? Will they have to find specific characters? We won't know until they start. Today we have 2 great runners. We have muchparanoia and DarkPaladin, and both of these runners are 3 wins and 1 loss, meaning whoever wins today will get a guaranteed spot in the bracket rounds, which is very exciting. The loser will most likely have to fight it out in the tiebreaker round. I'm joined here today by Imperial Dragon. What do you think of this Tella start?
Not exactly my favorite start, but hey, we'll see how they work with this one.
Yep, Tella has a few advantages in the early game. He already knows the exit spell, so that's good for Hobbs and Antlion Cave. And he does know the blink spell, which can be useful against physical-based bosses. But oh boy, his stat growth.
Yeah, and until you get him through ordeals, other than those, he kind of doesn't really have much.
We have been seeing a lot of Tella anchoring, actually, in this Swiss rounds, so that's another use. He can take a nap on the floor and make the enemies slower.
Hey, it's a pretty good use.
I mean, I would like to take a nap on the floor. Okay, our runners should be starting soon here, and we will see who our partner is and what our first item is.
Here's to hoping this one's, or that we get an interesting start.
Yep. And with this flag set, the routing is decided in large part by what objectives we get. So it's really interesting to see what runners do after they see the objectives and what they decide to go for first.
Yeah, and we'll see, and we also get to see how trolly said objectives are.
Yeah, is it gonna be something easy like defeat the Mist Dragon boss spot, or is it gonna be something difficult like defeat the Cave Bahamut spot? And it looks like we're about to get started here. And we have a Porum, and a White Spear, not terribly useful. So this is going to be a pretty low DPS, low HP start here.
Definitely. That's going to be a little bit interesting to see how they work out with us.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if we see a little bit of extra looting here, looking for some gear to make this this very low HP party viable. And we'll see what our objectives are here. And wow, I was prophetic. We do have to complete Cave Bahamut.
Yeah, very much so.
But we also have 2 very easy bosses. We have the king. We have to defeat King and Queen Eblin and the Dark Imps, both of which, depending on where they're located, are usually pretty easy bosses.
Yeah, King and Queen typically, if you can't kill them, you can just hold, or you can just wait them out.
Yep, they're a scripted boss, and they will cast some fire and eventually just burn themselves out. And right now, we're just seeing some standard looting, Much Paranoia doing the classic early game Baron loot, while Dark Paladin is heading over to Damsian Castle to check the treasure chests there.
Didn't really see much of note in Damsian.
Yeah, so far it's not been good mage gear. It's been good gear for heavy characters and ninja fighters, but not so much for our mages. Dark Paladin unmooring the hovercraft right away, knowing that they will have to use the hovercraft in order to trade in the pink tail.
All right, looks like we're going to be seeing who's at Hobbs.
Hopefully someone with just a little bit more DPS than this.
Yeah.
Oh, they did find a lunar rod, so that's pretty nice.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
That might have been in Mist. Oh, and we have Golbez and Antlion. Or no, sorry, Golbez. Wow.
Miss Cave.
Miss Cave, wow. Watching two screens at once is difficult.
And an Eddie.
Oh no, our low DPS continues. The spoon flag is not on in this flag set, so Eddie's DPS potential is extremely limited.
If you can get a good bow for him, he can do some decent damage.
That is true. Looking in the Kaipo bed, we had one of the twins, but Paranoia went so fast there I didn't see which one it was.
Yeah, I didn't even see. Good eye on that one.
I saw a head of brown hair, and that was it. Dark Paladin investing the time in this Leviathan fight because this early in the game, another warm body, even if it's Edward, gonna be useful.
He can throw items and use a bow with the best of them.
So true, and getting through it and acquiring an Edward.
And since Tella has exit, it's a lot quicker to be able to check these other chests.
Yep, and there's 4 chests down here, so it is nice to do if you can. Nothing immediately helpful again.
Poison X is good for money.
Yeah, that is true. And Much Paranoia going to see if he wants Eddie. Meanwhile, Dark Paladin is going down the Antlion Cave.
Apparently, no. No, he does not want Eddie.
We'll see if which way pays off, because that was quite a time investment for Paladin. Oh, and thank you, Woo Bear, for raiding. Welcome, everyone. You're right at the beginning of the seed, so you made it just in time. We have a rough start right now. We have a Tella, Porum, and Edward start, so we're looking for some DPS right now.
And unfortunately, no key item. It was just a white spear.
Yep. Which will be nice if we find a cane later, but no cane yet. So looking at the objective list here, we're not really going to care about character spots because we have no required characters. The items we have to get, besides the normal items of something to get to Zeromus, so either a dark crystal or a pass, we also require the sand ruby. We need both the pink tail and we need the hook so that we can turn in the pink tail. We need a darkness crystal so we can visit Cave Bahamut. And we need to find some bosses.
Yeah. And preferably some characters so that they can take on those bosses.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not an endgame party right now. And we have Vanilla Antlion. Oh, and with picking up that dancing dagger is a huge help. Using that dance spell, casting it as an item, usually does 200 to 300 damage, which should churn through this antlion pretty quickly. And there we go.
A legend sword.
No progress yet.
And not terribly useful either at this point.
No. But using that exit spell on Tella, saving a little bit of time walking out. And looks like DarkPaladin is gonna go try out the Fabul Gauntlet, while muchparanoia is gonna get through this antlion and receive their legend sword.
Well, that's one of the objectives really quickly.
Ooh,
King and
that's
Queen
nice.
Emblem.
So that is going to be objective 2 right off the bat. And this boss spot is pretty much free. The king and queen cast some low-level fire spells, and then just give up. Paladin deciding that actually fighting them is faster than waiting them out, which it can be in these low HP spots. But you do want to focus on the king, because as soon as you take out the king, the queen will just give up.
And it looks like muchparanoia is heading to Fabul now.
And we'll also complete objective number 2.
And dance party.
I like it. Going for the swag. Now let's see what the good king gives us.
Well, there's another objective, the sand ruby.
Oh wow, the seed being pretty generous in everything but, you know, characters. Now we'll actually get to see what other twin was in the bed.
If it's a Palom, that'll definitely be a bit more generous than it's been.
Oh, and DarkPaladin finding a Soma drop and using it on Tella. So we now have a Tella who is able to cast Meteo.
Very nice. That'll do some good damage.
Yeah, that's gonna help with this early game low DPS. It's a very slow spell to cast, but especially in this early game, it will do the damage. Of course, he has to go to Ordeals first before he learns that, but as soon as we finish Ordeals, he will be able to use Meteo.
And it looks like Dark Paladin is heading for the chests under Troya.
Not too surprising with this team. Some good arrows for Edward. Some better mage gear for our mages would be a huge help right now. And another Soma drop. And of course, having that exit spell with Tella again definitely speeds that check up. And let's see what twin this is. I believe that was a Palem. It's so hard to tell. The bed sheets cover up most of the sprite. Chat says it's double Porum, but I actually can't tell.
Honestly, I can't tell either.
We'll have to see in the next battle. Either way, picking up a second twin, whether it's Porum or Palem, does unlock the twin ability, since either sets of any two twins can you, and it does look like it is Palem, which is really useful early game.
Yeah, he learns some good damage spells, and it doesn't take that long for him to pick them up either.
Nope, just a few levels and he learns all those level 2 elemental spells. And we see in Troya here we have Star Veils, a very nice item to have available to us. And cabins. And life potions. This shop is pretty loaded right now.
Yeah.
And Thor Rages, wow. It is going on in Toria right now. Troya? I don't know.
Honestly, I think it's spelled Toroya, but I usually call it the other way. If
I'm sure someone actually... Yeah, I'm sure someone actually says it in the remake, so it probably has an official pronunciation somewhere. I don't know, chat. How do you pronounce Toria? Troya? Let us know how you pronounce it. Okay, Much Paranoia is on a around the world shopping spree right now. And it looks like Dark Paladin's probably doing the same.
Ooh, vampires. Those can be really handy when you have a lower DPS group.
And Cure 2s.
Sorry, damage. I've been playing too much World of Warcraft.
No, I say it's fine. Yes, we are deep into shopping percent right now. Oh, but it looks like Dark Paladin gonna head up that Mount Ordeals, probably wanting to get some more spells for their Tella, especially since he has enough MP to cast Meteo now. To answer the question in chat, King Queen Evelyn was in the Fabul Gauntlet spot. And we gotta be getting pretty close to finding a key item here. We have the Baronin left. We have Mount Ordeals, which is where both of our runners are heading right now. And I don't think anyone's checked Watery Pass for a Mist Dragon, but that's the only other spot.
Yeah, it was checked earlier. It was... I didn't actually see what... or couldn't actually tell for sure, but it looked like the soldiers.
Okay. So it's either here or at Baron Inn. This seed being not so kind with the progression items right now. And we got a set of D-Lunars. This is a really fun boss. There's a lot of different ways you can take down this boss. It's a dragon type, it's an undead type, so you can cure it, you can cast spells on it, it's weak to fire. But, you know, just dumping a bunch of stardust on it works too.
And it looks like we've got, in the second spot, we've got Baigen.
Oh. Dark Paladin also using the Stardust. That is one of the few spells that penetrates walls. So Baigen's Wall will not pose a threat here. So our runner's pretty much even right now. I think Much Paranoia did a tiny bit more shopping, but other than that, we're pretty much tied.
Other than Paranoia deciding not to go with Eddie.
You are correct. It's been a pretty linear seed so far, though.
And there goes Baigen.
So 2 out of 3 done for Paladin. Not healing because this fight gives you a free heal both before and after.
That was very quick, but...
It is a magma key. So we have underground access and our dreams of a hook seed are no more. But keep in mind, the Dark Imps could always be in the King and Queen Evelyn spot.
And is this even randomized? I mean, we got Dark Knight in the usual spot.
Yep, and now Paranoia, also discovering that justice is not the only right in this world, and we'll also have his magma key shortly.
And looks like we're getting some more shopping. All right, looks like we're going back to Baron. Okay, and we have a water hag in Baron. Not exactly the spot that I like seeing that, because it's so much better when it's a harder spot, but hey. I kinda like the free XP at one of the harder spots. And Paranoia is heading straight to the underground. And we've got Asura now. Not too bad in this spot. Sometimes it can be a little tricky, but... And Paranoia is off to the Dwarf Castle. And we're gonna see that Meteo that Soma drop was for. And there's the hook! So technically they've got both ways underground. I'm going to say probably, or in regards to the question of whether the names or sprites are correct, I'm gonna go with the sprites. Ooh, and Paranoia has found sirens and silkwebs in Tomra. Had a second before I remembered the name of that town. Oh, and it looks like a quick grind here. Yeah, definitely the levels will get Palom some better spells. And some nice scrambled eggs here. Alright, and looks like we're going to Dwarf Castle. A little hard to tell, but I think that's Odin in the Calbranas.
Yep, looks like Odin to me. A dancing Odin for us today. And of course, this is very doable. Odin being super weak to lightning. We have a Tella who knows Lit 3. We have a Palom who knows Lit 2. But it's not going to be a freebie for sure.
Actually, that wasn't too bad at all.
Boom. Old man getting it done today. And we
And
get
a
a
Leviathan.
Yang. I'm actually a little surprised Yang got ditched there. Yang is a little bit difficult to work with in the early and mid game, but he is a powerhouse. Put the investment into him for late game. But
I guess-
Callum having... Go ahead.
I guess he really likes Eddie.
Edward is very situationally useful, that is for sure. This Leviathan not posing too much of a threat. Also, we have the lightning, which we have a ton of right now. And those ice 2s not really hitting very hard. Wave, of course, being a percentage-based attack, will take out a big chunk of HP, but will not kill your party just outright.
Looks like a reset out there.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's going to put much paranoia a little bit behind. And soon we will get to see what Princess Luca is wearing as a necklace today.
Sometimes the dwarves had a really odd fashion sense.
For sure.
Well, a ribbon, not one of the odder things I've seen.
No, that's actually stylish.
Yeah, actually, that works for it.
That's actually super cute. A princess with a little ribbon around her neck. Yeah, paranoia is definitely struggling a little bit in this Odin fight. Shows you how much just those few extra characters can really help. Oh, and we got sirens.
Yep.
That, of course, making some super simple grinding options. Which it looks like Dark Paladin's going to take advantage of right away. If you don't know, summon the most rare encounter pack in the area in which they are used. And it's very useful in this area because it summons a defenseless little egg that won't be able to do anything until you attack it at least once and is worth a ton of XP.
And it looks like Paranoia is hitting Feymark. And the chest had that looked like Leviathan.
Yeah, I didn't catch the job dwarf. It went by so fast. If anyone caught that, let me know. These runners have super good button mashing tonight. It's being difficult to keep up with the text box. Someone's saying the dwarf was a social psychologist. And of course, our free Feymarsh chest being not super useful. Just being a Leviathan summon, which we don't have Iridia. You can sell it for a little bit of money, though.
And hourglasses. Always useful.
Yep, especially since we have to defeat the Dark Imps today, as required by objective number 5. Oh, he went so fast, I didn't even see the bosses down there.
One of them looked like a moon, or if you're talking Feymarch, one of them was a moon boss. The other one, it looked like a Rubicant sprite.
So that's either Rubicant or the Elements. Split Punch, they're most likely keeping Tella dead because they want to use Tella as an agility anchor. Unlike the remakes, Tella does actually gain agility when you level him up. All his other stats go down, but his agility actually goes up. So they're probably just trying to use Tella as an agility anchor right now. We discovered early on in this randomizer how it works in this game, and it is based on the character sitting in the middle of your party. It's a big, complicated mathematic formula, but the basic idea is that if the enemy's agility is high, you want the character in your middle slot to have low agility, and vice versa. Okay, after getting some levels, Much Paranoia is taken on Odin again. Meanwhile, Dark Paladin is working up their way up the Lower Babel Tower. We do not have a tower key, so this is a keyless tower play here.
Not always. Some people don't necessarily like doing it, but comes a time when I sort of figure it can actually pay off.
Yeah, especially since we're running out of spots to check for progress.
And there's Bahamut.
Teleporting one of the guards. I do know we picked up some Star Veils, so this should be a very doable fight. Just throw on some Star Veils and let him explode himself.
As of, in response to the chat, as of right now, the character spots that are still available for Paranoia, well, one of them's Eddie.
You do have to be a little careful here that your Star Veils don't wear off. But having that Edward hide and then put on a Star Veil later guarantees you'll have at least one active Star Veil for this next Mega Nuke. And meanwhile, Paranoia also finding their very fashionable ribbon.
Oh yeah, that is a good point. I hear Paranoia still hasn't actually done the Baron in for the hook.
Oh, that is true. Yep, because they don't have the Sid either. But Paranoia also realizing that we're running out of places and not really wanting to deal with those summoned monsters right now in the Leviathan and Ashura spot, also going to do Keyless Tower. So our runners other than the Baron Inn, have very similar routes this evening. And an Earth Crystal. Well, that'll be a good check. That has 2 character slots and a key item check. So finally some progression here, maybe. Once again, we still have those summon monster spots, so this could also be a rabbit hole.
Earth Crystal's always nice because it is those two, or there's also those 2 chances at better characters.
That is for sure. You can stop by the Troya Treasury and pick up those 14 chests, too.
And it looks like Dark Paladin is heading to visit Yang.
Well, that sure is nice of him. I hear Yang's not feeling very well right now, and I'm sure he'll appreciate the company. Aw, Margaret Ann making Yang some soup. Looks like Dark Paladin's gonna check the watery pass here. We are still looking for those dark imps, but we already know this is not them. And now time to see what the good housewife Sheila has for us. And Paranoia getting through that Bahamut fight, gonna get their Earth Crystal. We'll see where they go next. And a tower key. Well, you did have to. Oh no. Oh no. Our runners, they went all the way up the tower when they could have checked Sheila first.
Oof. That's a little bit of a time waste.
Luckily for them, though, they both did it, so relatively it wasn't a time waste. Of course, you don't know that when you can't see your opponent.
Yeah, if I made that decision, I would be starting to think I would be getting a little behind with it.
Yep. See if we get anything good in these chests. Oh, you're menuing so fast. Not seeing anything really standing out, though, there.
At least nothing for this party.
For sure.
Only thing I saw noteworthy was the light sword.
Yep, just a lot of gil, actually.
Oh, I missed the dwarf axe. Thank you, chat.
Oh yes, the dwarf axe being good because it allows us to do the back row glitch. In this game, there is a very surprising programming oversight where if you equip a character a weapon that does full damage from the back row, that flag will never get unset. So even if you switch their weapons, they'll still do full damage from the back row. The dwarf axe being good. Ooh, water hag. That's a free boss. I got distracted again. I stopped in the middle of my explanation because I got distracted by water hag. But the dwarf axe can be used by Kane and Sid, who normally have a little more trouble, but Sid can equip arrows. Anyway, Much Paranoia finally deciding to go back to the Baron Inn and pick up their Sid.
Asura should not be too much trouble for this.
Nope, especially when you have a Quake kid.
Not quite the swag of Medio, but hey, still works.
That hook, of course, still being required because we have to trade in the pigtail eventually. And Dark Paladin fighting Mylon Z, but with all this fire magic, he will be in the deep ravine shortly.
Yeah, that is definitely an interesting naming scheme Dark Paladin's using. I admit for a second I was confused when I saw it say that all Cecils learned Medio.
I know, I've almost said the wrong character name a few times. He's doing that just to mess with the commentators, I think. And we find Edge. It is ninja time. Edge comes with pretty decent equipment right off the bat. A decent amount of levels. And a Rosa, oh my. The Tower of Zot is loaded today. Also, is this even randomized? Vanilla Rosa. And unsurprisingly, upgrading a Porum to a Rosa, switching our Bard for our Ninja. And while Dark Paladin here re-equipping his new characters, Much Paranoia hot on his heels, also working on Mylon Z. And yeah, our runners are pretty close right now. They've done most of the same checks, so this is a very close race so far. And our Vivalis spot is a mom bomb. This shouldn't be too much trouble here. This isn't the highest attack slot. It'll take a little time, but I don't think it'll be a wipe at any point. I almost said Kane for Edge. Dark Paladin, what have you done? That Edge already doing pretty good damage here. Let's see, much paranoia, ditching the Sid. Huh, that's some interesting choices. It's the one thing that's really different between the two runners right now is the party composition. I'm surprised they left Porum in.
With enough levels, Porum can be good for endgame for casting White on Zeramis, or for healing.
That is true. She does have much lower HP growth than Rosa, though, which makes her a little bit less viable for the endgame. And let's see what our item is. A pass. Well, that gives us a way to Zeromus. If you don't know, the pass opens up the shortcut in Toria, which in the vanilla game just goes to a fun little Easter egg area. A shortcut to the final boss. But we still need a crystal for the final boss, and to get the crystal, we need to complete 3 more objectives. And Dark Paladin gonna follow up on that tower key, so it is tower run times 2. Running through the tower. And this boss is usually not much of a trouble. Oh, it might be a little trouble. But this boss spot does have extremely low HP.
Actually, to be honest, that's one of the spots that I wouldn't mind seeing that boss, just because it's relatively easy to deal with.
Yeah, low magic. You don't get that wall of magic defense like you normally do. Much paranoia, probably gonna go do the Sheila 1 check since he ran all the way over there to talk to Jan. And pretty soon we're gonna see what our airship assistants have been hanging on to.
And that's a darkness crystal.
Boy howdy, the seat has just opened up to us. So that of course gives us access to Cave Bahamut, which we need to complete the game. Or to complete our objective number 4. It gives us a spot, 5 other key item checks in the form of all the moon altars. It gives us a character check and it gives us an extra shop. So the seed is pretty much wide open here. Looks like Much Paranoia, luckily, is right on Dark Paladin's heels. Gonna go in, check that tower key, and get their darkness crystal shortly. So at this point, our runners are pretty even. Dark Paladin is a little bit ahead, just going a little bit quicker. And is gonna head straight for the moon. We'll see what he does first here. Is he gonna go check Bahamut? Is he gonna go check the shop? Yep, we're gonna go shopping first. Everybody say hi to the moon buddies. They're so cute with their floppy little ears. Yep, at this point, all we need is a pink tail to defeat whatever boss is at Cave Bahamut, but we still need to find those dark imps. There's a lot of places those dark imps could still be. They could be on the moon. They could be in the giant. They could be behind a key item we haven't gotten yet. We just don't know. They could also be in the Vanilla King and Queen Eblin spot. That's one that always trips me up. Yes, Firebird Lover, if Cave Bahamut is the Dark Imps holding the pink tail, it will be a pretty fast seed. Is this even randomized? Fuso is named Rydia. I wouldn't be surprised if Dark Paladin, yep, is gonna go peek that Bahamut spot boss. Even if it's something you can't take on now, you'll know what you're up against. And Much Paranoia will receive their darkness crystal shortly, and I would not be... Oh, I missed it. You're so fast, Dark Paladin. What was it, guys?
CPU.
CPU, interesting. So CPU doesn't have much of an attack. Its attack is based purely on your HP. So as long as you have a white mage, you will be fine in terms of dying. However, it can be a very long boss. That wall just gets in the way of everything. You don't want to do AoE spells, because if you take out the attacker, then it's going to start killing you, or the CPU is going to start killing you. Dark Paladin going, oh, and got it. So Dark Paladin is using the float strat. So by reflecting float off yourself and getting it onto the attacker, you can use Quake without killing the attacker and thus triggering Globe 199. So getting that first try is going to be huge here, because now it is just a Quake party.
I actually did not know that was possible. That is very good to know for future reference.
Yep, that is a strategy I've used once or twice myself. So this is going to go great for Dark Paladin. That, of course, does have a chance of hitting the defender, and usually, or the CPU itself, and either one of those is usually a reset. So it's a 1 out of 3 chance, and Dark Paladin got it.
It looks like Paranoia is coming to the moon.
Not too surprising. Once again, just behind Dark Paladin. It's both runners have had extremely similar routes. Dark Paladin's just had slightly better execution. And Edge getting in some ninja action there, throwing some stars. And using Bluff on Palom. Bluff raises Palom's attack magic stat, so it will make his next spell a little bit stronger. That's one of the J abilities, one of the Japanese-only abilities that is turned on for this flag set.
CPU still taking a little bit of time.
Oh yeah, this spot has tons of HP. And the problem here with a Tella and a Fusoya is you do not have a MP to spare. I wouldn't be surprised if we see someone stealing Tella's MP if we have the appropriate spells or items. Or not Tella, Edge's. Edge has little MP because of his ninja abilities, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him used as an MP source here.
Every little bit of MP helps.
Yep, and it looks like Much Paranoia going for the same strat, getting that wall up on Palom. We'll see if the float hits. And Dark Paladin down just to an attacker now, and we'll finish that off shortly. And Dark Paladin through. So we'll complete objective number 4, and we'll see if this key item check is useful. A Baron key. Well, that is 2 boss slots that are open, and we're still looking for Dark Imps.
Yep.
While I was watching that, did Much Paranoia get the float? They didn't reset out, so I'm assuming it happened.
Yeah.
No, Much Paranoia did not pick up Fu yet. Which is gonna make this fight a little bit slower, because having that extra Quake caster definitely sped things up for Dark Paladin. Oh, nope, chat not saying that. I don't know, did he check the first spot? I missed it.
I didn't
think he did, but maybe he did. I thought he went straight to Cave Bahamut, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Either way, without that Fu, this CPU fight's gonna go a little slower, putting Much Paranoia a little further behind. Could make that up if he goes and checks the altar spots and see if the Dark Imp's there, and if they are, that could put him back ahead. So it is not over yet.
it's not over till the flash on the Zeramis screen.
Yup. Yes, it's not over until the Z sprite sings. And revisiting our Dark Elf from earlier in the game. With that Fusoya, this boss should be no trouble at all.
And it looks like Paranoia is still chewing through CPU.
Yep, once again, not having that foo really slowing them down.
And all that's left is the attacker. So that fight should be over pretty quickly.
Yep. Dark Paladin getting through that Dark Elf fight. And really hoping for some Dark Imps on the throne.
That would be the Gauntlet.
Oh, yep, and it's our alt Gauntlet. This is a pretty new flag for Free Enterprise. We now have a setting where instead of having your classic soldiers and a gargoyle and some imps in there, the Gauntlet fight from Fabul will now draw in enemies from the surrounding area. Which definitely makes you think on your toes a little more. And also, you get to enjoy all the wonderful enemy sprites. But of course, this foo with Quake ripping through these pretty fast. Yes, Demon RHK. It's 18 monsters in a trench coat.
The Gauntlet, that change to the Gauntlet definitely makes things interesting depending on where it shows up.
Yeah, it's especially fun when it's on the moon. Much Paranoia once again, just a few steps behind Dark Paladin, going into their Baron fights pretty shortly here. Yeah, with this many monsters on the throne, is it really a monarchy? It's more of an oligarchy now.
And looks like a Kane.
We do have that white spear, so we'll see if Dark Paladin ditching the Palem. Guess we're going for Berserk strats today. We do have that white spear from all the way back in the beginning of the game. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's looking like we're for the last couple character spots. Looks like Cecil's probably either in the giant or the package. And something duplicated.
That is very true. We are highly unlikely to see Cecil tonight. Except, unless if the package boss is the Dark Imps, then we will be seeing Cecil today. Or if the Dark Imps are in the giant.
Oh yeah, sometimes without sometimes with the tracker, or without a tracker, I tend to forget the Eblin Cave spot.
Yep, we still have the Vanilla King and Queen Eblin spot too. We also have Odin's spot, which looks like what Dark Paladin's gonna check next. I wouldn't. Never mind. I was going to say something factually incorrect, so I won't say it. We are still looking for Pinktail too, and ooh, Blue Turtle. This spot is fast. This could be doable because we have sources of lit to get rid of the wave. We do have food pumping out the damage. Yeah, this looks pretty doable, I think. Of course, Mr. Blue Turtle's biggest threat here is his wave attack, proportional to not your HP, but his HP. And so basically, the more you damage him, the easier he gets. And we're pumping out the damage pretty good right now, so he is getting less and less threatening. And that's the second time that Dark Paladin's gone for the swag Meteo and Tella just hasn't survived to do it.
Meteo just has a really long cast time.
I guess even with extra MP, Tella really can't cast Meteo without dying. Ooh, those foo nukes getting the job done. I think the biggest difference right now is Dark Paladin picking up that foo, making a lot of these fights go faster.
And he got an apple for his troubles.
Well, I'm sure it's delicious, but it's not going to help us progress in this seed. Would you eat a gold apple? I would eat a gold apple. I imagine it's like a golden delicious apple, right?
I would hope so. I don't think I want to eat the metal.
Yes, if it is literally made out of solid gold, that would be difficult. I see why it would increase your HP, though. It's all the stamina you built from chewing a metallic apple. Oh, or yes, Light Phoenix, it could be an apple covered in edible gold leaf. Dark Paladin now heading back to the moon. We got 5 more boss spots here, and any of them could be Dark Imps. And we're still looking for that pink tail. We have not seen any trace of it yet. I love chat talking about golden apples now.
You know, grafting grafting the apple to your skin seems like a very, very bad idea.
Yeah, and Much Paranoia did ditch Edge for Kane. A little surprising to me. Ooh, Stardust Rod is nice, but, you know, not progress.
Did he have any weapons for Edge?
To be honest, I don't know.
Because with that white spear, I could actually see why he would drop him.
And for our first lunar boss here, we have Plague. Plague is another one of those fun bosses where there's lots of different ways to go about defeating it. Right now, when you have a foo named Rydia and you have some physical attackers, you might just DPS this out. You might just try to do all that HP damage before your counter hits 0. The other thing you can do is what DarkPaladin is doing right now. If you kill a character and then revive that character, Plague gets really annoyed when you undo all his hard work and one of the characters doesn't have count. He will recast the count, but unfortunately for Plague, recasting the count resets the timer on all characters and not just the one without a counter above them. Oh, cutting it close.
Yeah, might end up losing someone.
It does. This spot is a little slower, and Plague is taking his sweet time recasting that count. But it doesn't matter. DPS saves the day.
And a Luca key.
Well, there is one boss check and a one key item check down there, and we're still looking for a boss, still looking for a key item. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised to see DarkPaladin full clear the moon. The walk to get down here and also the animation to go from the moon to the earth is very long. So a lot of times, if you're starting on the moon, you're just gonna finish the moon.
It's usually it seems more time effective, though sometimes if there's something pointing you back to the planet, it might not pay off.
Yeah, it is always a gamble because it is time consuming, and if it's behind that Luca key and your opponent decides to make that gamble, that's a huge time difference right there. Ooh, and Much Paranoia taking a wipe to the disastrous blue turtle.
That really is not a good spot for him.
Yep, once again, the big difference being that DarkPaladin has that foo, and that foo can just get that damage off real quick, taking away the power of that wave. Okay, DarkPaladin doing the classic top to bottom moon check is gonna do the vanilla wyvern spot next. Are you a top to bottom moon diver or a bottom to top moon diver?
Personally, I usually go from the bottom part to the top because I like heading straight down to the save point and just working from it.
I agree, but we find the Mist Dragon. So this is going to be a double key item check, one from the spot itself and one check when we go visit Rydia's mother back on Earth. There's some intense debate on chat whether to do bottom to top or top to bottom. I also usually do bottom to top, mostly so I don't have to walk back all the way back down again.
Admittedly, mine's more of a habit from some of the rough times I had with some of the bosses in there.
Yeah. Yeah, those end of the moon bosses are no joke most of the time. Ooh, Stella slowing down the Mist Dragon. That's a double-edged sword there. Because it does mean that they will be in their non-mist form longer, but if they get into their mist form, that, like right now, you're also gonna have to wait longer on that mist form. Unless this is like a brand new trick I don't know about. To answer Ninja Debugger's question, Kanazo is weak to ice when he doesn't have his little splash wall up, but when his little splash wall is up, his weakness actually changes to the lit spell. Dark Paladin definitely having a little bit of trouble with this Mist Dragon. Its physical attacks are hitting pretty hard. He's getting those blinks up when he can. Blinks giving you a complete immunity to 2 physical attacks. That might be why he slowed down the Mist Dragon too, just so he has more time to get those blinks up.
And it looks like Paranoia decided to reset out of the Odin spot after killing it for the apple.
Well, luckily we know they're going in the right direction because that Odin spot is not holding on to anything we need to today. An apple a day may keep the doctor away, but it doesn't lead to seed progression.
And there goes the Mist Dragon.
And Paranoia finally getting their foo. Probably thinking, oh, I could have used that a lot earlier. And a good sword on the Wyvern pedestal, but nothing we need. Yes, Lofaz. As a commentator, the mismatched names have been a bit of a difficulty for me.
It's not too bad when you can see the sprites. It's just awkward when you can't.
Much Paranoia also choosing the top-down route.
And karate.
Ooh, that's actually gonna hit pretty dang hard in the spot. We do have 3 people who can cast Blink, which minimizes that, And the kick usually doesn't do as much damage, but this is still not in any way a free fight. This is also one time where you actually want Cecil, because there is a scripted ending to this fight, where after Yang does a certain amount of attacks, if Cecil just hits him with a regular sword attack, Yang will go ouch and the fight will end. But unfortunately, we know that Cecil is either in the giant or behind a package we don't have. Woo, but Fu being clutch there. Those nukes just tearing through. And unfortunately, no progression.
That is very close on Plague. But that is a very long time to have on 0.
Yeah, that's interesting. But gets through it. And at the double chest spot, we have Kelka Brenna. This should be pretty easy peasy. Got a Fu with Quake. You got hourglasses to freeze those back dolls so they cannot combine together. This should be a short, sweet fight. Yep, much paranoia doesn't know it, because has no idea what his opponent's doing. Oh, looks like is gonna follow up on the Luca key. If the Dark Imps and the Pink Tail are here, this decision could put much paranoia back in the lead. This is the... You can't know when you're in the race, but they are making absolutely the right decision right now. I wouldn't be surprised if this is intentional too. After wiping multiple times on that Kanatsu fight, you're thinking, well, I'm behind, so I need to make a bold play. And we get the package. That could be useful because the package boss could still be the Dark Imps that we're looking for.
I've noticed that's... I've noticed more than a few times that package has hid some required bosses.
Yep, there is a boss slot there. It's not one people go to since the cutscenes for the package are so long. And Dark Paladin gonna show us what's on this final altar. A original flavored Mylon. This shouldn't be too bad. The zombies are only going to do the drain spell, and they're dead, so it doesn't matter. Mylon will do some pretty hard physical attacks here, but other than that, will most often do those really weak lit ones, so I don't really see too much trouble going on here. And Dark Paladin going for the swag medio again. Let's see if Tella can actually make it this time.
And it looks like the Luca key was Bahamut.
Oh no. Very important, much paranoia checks the boss before exiting out here, though. But they're a good runner, I'm sure they will.
And it did not pay off, it looks like.
Oh, bummer. That's gonna put much paranoia way behind, unfortunately.
Oh, nice. He still had the save back at the moon so that didn't have to walk all the way back.
Yep, save resetting, save scumming, as I hear it called, is incredibly encouraged in free enterprise. So if you want to go check something quickly and leave a save back where you were, you can 100% do that. But unfortunately, that's, as much as I hate to say it, that's probably the end for much paranoia. That was the gamble that if it paid off, it would put him back in the lead, but unfortunately it didn't.
The race is just so close.
And Artemis arrows. So what do we have left? Dark Imps could be in the giant. They could be in the package. What we have left, that means, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, that our next progression, because we're still looking for that pink tail, or at least progression to that pink tail, has to be behind the Ashura spot or the Leviathan spot. Because we don't have Twin Harp yet. We don't have Pan. So we checked Odin. So I believe those are the only two places we can go right now. There's other places we could look for the Dark Imps, such as the Giant, the package, which it looks like Dark Paladin is going to check the Giant now for those Dark Imps. And if you're feeling spicy, maybe do a little D-machine grind for your endgame levels.
D-machine grind's always useful for when you need some levels.
Oh, heck yeah. It's the one thing in free enterprise I need to practice more. My D-machine grind is really inconsistent. But yeah, the Dark Imps, they could be behind one of the key items we don't have. They could be behind the package in the Giant. But the big idea here is we are running out of spots to check. But either Leviathan or Ashura have to have the pink tail, or they have to have an item to the pink tail. And Dark Paladin not doing a D-machine, going straight into that elements fight. And we have an Octomam. Not a bad boss to find here. Of course, Octomam's gimmick is that the more you attack it, the slower it gets. So while it can be difficult in the beginning with some pretty hard-hitting physical attacks, eventually it just gets so slow that you don't have to worry at all.
And that was definitely a hard hit on Edge.
Oh, Firebird Lover, that is correct. The pink tail, I don't think we've checked Rydia's mom. Dark Paladin hasn't gone back to Earth yet, so Rydia's mom could also have the pink tail. And Octomam already is starting to look less threatening with fewer tentacles. And unfortunately, much paranoia just following behind in Dark Paladin's footsteps, but just a little slower, unfortunately. Woo Bear in chat rooting for the Dark Imps to be at the King and Queen Evelyn spot. That is an easy to forget one.
Yeah. And it would definitely be likely from what I've seen. Put the required bosses in the most random spot possible.
Yep. At this point, Octomam is not longed for this world. Fu throwing those nukes, most of the characters are blinked up. It's just a matter of time now. And Octomam is down. This is going to be great for experience as we see levels flying left and right. And of course, healing up before the CPU spot.
Yeah, I've had some really mean luck with the CPU spot before.
Yeah,
I do not blame anyone for saving.
Yeah, theoretically it shouldn't be too bad, but you never know. Pale Dim shouldn't be too bad, though. Boss that's primarily focused on physical attacks again, so we got the blinks.
Yep, that's actually not a bad spot, relatively speaking, for it.
Does take a while to get through, though, because of those counter slows, so every time it gets hit, you gotta watch the animation for those slow spells. But that Fusoya, who is named Rydia, who I almost said Rydia, is, those nukes just doing the damage. And what's nice is after this, Dark Paladin will have pretty much all the levels that he needs to finish the game. Might need one or two more, but I believe still has a few sirens in his back pocket. But most of the way there. And our duplicate character is in the giant, so we know Cecil's behind the package. But the real question is, are the Dark Imps behind the package? Oh,
actually,
yes,
you know what?
Go ahead.
I was just going to comment about the hook. We still haven't seen that.
That's true. There is one character down there, too. I did not think of that. So Dark Paladin approaching from the right side, which means they're going to check Rydia's mother. Because coming in from the left side triggers the package event. A twin harp. Oh, I hope it's required because I love hearing the twin harp music. Get those harps out in chat. You were saying?
I said it's always wonderful to hear it.
Oh, and I wonder if Dark Paladin's following up on that right away. Looks like he might be. Yep, he's heading to the Black Chocobo Forest. So is going to hear the harp music, just in case you are brand new to Free Enterprise, which would be more likely if we were restreaming on a different channel, but is less likely because we're restreaming on the Free Enterprise channel. We have a very fun Easter egg. It's probably my favorite Easter egg in the entire randomizer. We thought that Edward's harp music that he plays to annoy the Dark Elf was a little boring. So we decided to randomize it. And I know we have over 100. No, that might not be true. I don't know the exact number. It's increasing all the time. But we have lovely harp covers of all sorts of pop culture music. Everything from video games to old rock to pop culture to memes. And we never know what we're gonna get. So me and Imperial Dragon here are gonna be quiet for a little bit so that you can hear the beautiful music. So, Dark Paladin being nice and giving us the title check there. Something from, yeah, I'm not super familiar with that.
Not a familiar one for me either.
I really like it though. It's really pretty.
Very catchy. And an evil wall.
The evilest wall. Who is dead already? Dark Paladin's at near endgame levels here, so not too surprising that went so quickly.
And a spoon.
Well, a spoon is definitely not a pink tail. But at least we got to hear music. So we're hoping here that Much Paranoia does not follow up on their twin harp. Because it will only put them further behind if they do. And no one's done Fame Arch yet. Oh my.
Nothing past the chest.
Much Paranoia confirming that Cecil is in fact behind the package. And if this package boss is Dark Imps, could once again help them out quite a bit. Did you recognize the package sprite? I didn't quite see what it was. Was that Feigen?
I couldn't tell. It was kind of blurry for my screen.
Yeah, it's because it has the fire effect overlay, so sometimes it's hard to. Our restreamer, Joseph Menon here, the Baron Guard sprite. That's another thing we randomize, so normally when you open the package, a bunch of bombs come out and attack the village. We just randomize what comes out and attacks the village. And Dark Paladin receiving the bad news that the pink tail is not here. Your pink tail is in another castle. Or at this point, probably in a basement full of monsters.
Yeah, probably.
And unfortunately, no dark imps. So once again, much paranoia making those gamble plays, and some days those would be big, but today they're just not paying off. And unfortunately gonna go chase that twin harp, which is good because we'll get to hear music again. But it's bad for paranoia because they're just gonna fall further and further behind.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so agonizing to see when you're a viewer and you know they're going the wrong way.
You just want to say, turn around!
Yep, I see some of those in chat. Turn back!
Yeah, I think so. The Cave Eblin has to have the Dark Imps. Because I don't think there's any other boss spot that hasn't been checked.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, they do. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. But we still have to find the pink tail. And we'll see if the Elements has it. Looks like Dark Paladin is probably going to go for the strategy. I don't know if it has an official name, but if you do not directly attack the Mylon portion of the elements and instead use reflected spells, then the elements will not cycle. They will just stay Mylon. Which is very useful because as an undead, Mylon's weak to fire. And so you can exploit that.
One of those little things that sometimes it just surprises me. I never thought about trying.
Yep, and Mylon's also weak to holy, and he's dead. Yeah, I've been playing this game pretty intensively for about a year now, and I swear I still learn new stuff all the time.
Especially with this level of, or when you're watching this level of players.
Yep, and we get a pan. And that would give us 2 checks, one for the Sylph and one for Sheila 2, either of which could have the pink tail. I'm gonna hope Sheila has it for housewife solidarity. And the sparkle is wyvern. We actually knew that already, but this is gonna be fine though, because we have plenty of time, lots of star veils. And I'll probably just be quiet again and let you listen to the reprise of the music.
Wyvern is down.
And we'll see if maybe this is the pink tail.
Nope. A life.
Well, getting a life is very important, but it isn't seed progression. So we know it's either the Sylphs or it's Sheila. Those are the only 2 item checks we have left. And while we're heading over to Cave Blanc, I'm going to take a lull in the action to thank everyone who made this restream possible tonight. Thank you to our restreamer, Joseph Zmanin. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And our tracker, Ike here, lighting up all those beautiful buttons to let us know what's going on. And of course, thank you to my wonderful co-commentator, Imperial Dragon.
Thank you for commentating with me on this one. This has definitely been an interesting scene to watch.
Interesting is the right word.
And I think it looks like Sheila's got the next part.
Yep, and the housewives have it.
Actually, with the way it looks, it's gonna be Rat Tail into Pink Tail.
Thinking about that processing, yes, that is highly likely. I honestly completely forgot about the rat tail.
It's easy to forget about that one sometimes.
Yup. So now we gotta go back, pick up the airship, land on the island, go in the cave, talk to the tail collector, trade a tail, and we'll finally...
And we'll finally have Objective 3 done.
Yes.
Still need to find the imps. Where they're hiding down in the hook.
Oh boy, it has been a chain-dependent night tonight. And we finally have a pink tail, yay!
Almost there!
And we have animate armors turned off, so turning in the pink tail doesn't give the animate armor, it instead gives another highlight piece of gear.
It can give some really useful things there, too.
Yes, it can.
I love it when I have Cecil and get a crystal sword.
Yeah, that's the best. Dark Paladin's still looking for those dark imps. And that does look like... I'm trying to see, it does kind of look like the castle guards. It might be the castle guards after they're defeated, actually. And they're, like, laying down. While those nefarious castle guards started burning down the town of Mist. But, of course, Dark Paladin is going to be very disappointed when they just find some Magus sisters.
Yeah, considering they definitely, the Cid, considering that sorry, misread name. Light Phoenix, definitely, this is really good time, even with all these. I know I can't do 34 out of 34, 17 out of 17 this fast.
Yeah, these are two very good runners for sure. That's why they're 3 and 1. Yep, and Dark Paladin setting out of that not Dark Imps fight. And hopefully realizes that the hook is all that's left. Thinking about it, yep, going for the hovercraft. Well, on the nice side, we're gonna see Rydia for about all of 5 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 hours for a full clear definitely is not a bad time. Oh, Dark Paladin now fighting the true final boss, inventory management.
Yeah, I still have not quite managed that, or managed to figure out the perfect strategy for that boss.
No, if you're new to Free Enterprise, there is a quick reject. If you open a treasure chest, there's a shortcut key to just throw out the item you get from the treasure chest. But I love items, and so I hold on to all of them, even when I shouldn't. And the other big thing, oh, everyone say hi to Rydia.
Hi, Rydia. Bye, Rydia, probably.
I love your green hair. I think it's so cool. Everybody say bye to Rydia.
Who is apparently named Yang.
Actually, that's not true. One person mentioning in chat is a level 1 Rydia is a decent agility anchor, but Dark Paladin still has that Tella, and I believe they picked up a cursed ring, so they'll be fine on the anchoring front.
Yeah, that would have been an easy hook. Had they had to actually, or had they ended up having to go through it. That boss combination.
So this is like the one case where you kind of wished it was a hook, because then you would have checked this boss battle out earlier. It's rare when you say, man, it would have been better if I succeed.
The magma key got in the way a little bit, in a way.
Oh, Much Paranoia is... Oh, this is so great. Much Paranoia is actually making the play. And is actually going to sort of get back into this. Going for the Dark Imps. And we know this is the right move. Dark Paladin is still about 1 dungeon ahead, though. And it's actually going to be faster probably just to do the next boss instead of walk out of here. I don't know. Which do you think is faster? Do the Rubicon boss and drop into the Falcon? Or do you think walking all the way back and exiting is going to be faster? I've never timed this. I don't actually know.
That sounds like something somebody should try.
Everybody say hi to Rydia again. Hi, Rydia.
Bye, Rydia.
Poor Rydia. So this is suddenly much closer than it was 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Dark Paladin, though, having done the Giants, definitely has the level advantage.
Yeah, I haven't seen what Paranoia's levels look like, if they're good enough for doing Zeramus with yet or not.
I haven't checked either, but the Giant just gives so much experience points, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, there's no way with those health numbers that there's enough levels on that.
Yep, so despite making the right move, Much Paranoia still about half a dungeon and one grind session behind, so it is Dark Paladins to lose right now. So, if you've never seen Free Enterprise before, we have one final Easter egg. At the end of the game, we randomize the final boss spot. The final boss's stats and script are still the same, but he does look different. So, Imperial Dragon, would you like to ask the question?
Sure. Whose butt are we gonna kick today?
That's right. Get those Z flags out in chat. I see.
All the Z flags.
Oh, there's a backwards Z flag. I wonder whose channel that is from. I'm personally hoping for Theatrhythmus because I am a big rhythm game fan.
I can't pick one. They're all so good.
Yes, our wonderful moderator, Shala Kitty, makes all these sprites and gets them into the game. I think there's over 400 different possible sprites now. And let's see who it is. Oh my, I know I've seen this before.
Shodan from System Shock.
Awesome. That looks really cool. And of course, Dark Paladin being at pretty good levels here. Tella's a pretty decent agility anchor. I don't think they got too many levels on Tella. Having a good white mage. So this is, I mean, Zeramus is never easy, but Dark Paladin definitely has all the tools right now.
Definitely has the tools to make it a fairly smooth one.
And we got a Berserk Rosa going, I believe. That's, well, not unheard of, is uncommon. And it looks like it's going for just pure Berserk strats right now. Berserk Edge, Berserk Cane, Berserk Rosa, holding back Fu and Tella to heal. You know, as long as Tella stays standing, which amazingly did. Rosa, who is named Edward, is berserked, but it's not a berserked Edward, it's a berserked. Who is that? Rosa's putting out surprisingly high damage. I do know we found both Artemis bow and Artemis arrows, so that's helping a lot.
Yeah, she can really put out some good damage with that.
And poor Tella getting the 300 HP damage virus there. You tried, Tella. You tried. But yeah, this is going pretty darn smoothly. I mean, you still always have that possibility of a big bang directly into a Meteo, which can cause some shenanigans, but except for that, this is looking pretty good so far. You know, decent weapons on that edge, decent weapons on Kane, good bow and arrow on Rose. Tella is amazingly still standing.
Yeah, that's actually a little bit shocking.
You should be taking an old man nap by now.
And the Meteo did him in.
Yep, and there was no prior Big Bang, so this is all but over. And GG's! And it looks like we are joined by our winner, DarkPaladin. What did you think of that seed?
I don't think Joseph is allowed to roll anymore for me. I mean, 100% in, what, under 205. It's still nice, but that was gross.
How disappointed were you that that big time investment into the giant didn't pay out?
Not actually too bad. I went to the giant actually to grind and figured I still have a boss hunt, so I'll just do it for the experience more so than the bosses, and those are kind of a bonus. I kind of completely forgot about King Queen Eblet until I was checking the package, and it's just like, wait a minute, where else is left? And then it was like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
I actually felt really bad about the Baron play. That was probably, like, I felt really good about the seed up until I did Baron, and then I was like, oh, any lead I had is probably gone now. But with that troll kind of hunt, it was like, okay, well, I still have a good shot now.
Mm-hmm. So, congratulations on securing a spot in the bracket round. Are you happy you don't have to go through that tiebreaker round?
I think a lot of people had already kind of did some math, and this match, kind of both of us are going to be in the cut without having to do the play-ins. But I think I made like 3 or 4 other people happy by getting a bigger strength schedule, and now there's much less chance I have to face one of the really scary 4-1s or 5-0s in the first round of brackets, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And you get to enjoy a week off.
It's true. I should actually probably play a flag set of brackets for one.
Yep, I was just about to ask, are you going to do anything different to prepare for the brand new bracket flags?
Yeah, I'm going to read them for one. That's a start.
I think the big thing that's apparent right away is it's going to be the new C7. To use an old term for a new flag, only 7 of the characters will be available.
Yeah, I gotta get used to what T Pro and S Pro have available. Going into this, I was kind of surprised at what was available on Standard. Now I gotta get used to what's available on Pro, just to kind of have a baseline of how much shopping should I do, how much reading I'm going to need to do. I really
Yeah.
just watch him venerable for like the entire week and just take what he does.
Yeah, I do that a lot too. Just watch good players and pick up those tips and tricks that you don't know.
And I've definitely learned a lot from today's race.
Is there anything you want to add, either Dragon or Dark Paladin?
No.
Okay, with that, I'll let Dark Paladin go because Much Paranoia has just finished up. GG, Much Paranoia, what did you think of that seed? That's a good thought. Just
Yeah. Yeah. It happened.
That it certainly did. You actually, you and Dark Paladin had almost the same route. I think the big difference is Dark Paladin picked up Fu right away, and that just made his boss fights after that point go so much faster.
You see, I ended up chasing rabbit holes as soon as I got them. And so that probably cost me a bunch of time.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Luca cave was a bust, and you struggled with our good friend the blue turtle, and that was also a bust.
That would not have gone as badly had the turtle not cheated.
Yeah, it was a very rude turtle. So it looks like I'd have to do the math, but I think you still get in the bracket round. I have to double check the strength of schedule. I don't know if you're in the
My strength to the schedule right now would be 14.
Yep, so I believe that's enough to put you in the brackets. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling pretty okay.
Are you going to do any practice for the new flags?
Oh, yes. I need to be ready next week. The week after next.
What are you worried about the most in the new flag set?
Not much, actually. I'll be honest, I much prefer T Pro to T Standard. So.
Makes a lot of sense. Okay, I don't have too much else to add. If no one else has anything to add,
I don't really have anything to add either. Other than congratulations and good race. It was definitely worth watching.
Okay, well, thank you for joining everyone for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the Swiss round because this is, in fact, the last game of the Swiss round. Next week, we will be starting the tiebreaker rounds where all of our 3 and 2 competitors, those who had 3 wins and 2 losses, who did not have enough strength of schedule to be automatically advanced to the bracket round, will start playing. Okay, and it looks like with that, we are going to be rating Hupfin. And that is all I got for tonight. Thanks for playing, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.
We clear yet?